This call is being recorded.
Okay, you are on.
Well, good. All right. So, everybody, I am just, my name's Glenn Hayes, and I am just thrilled to be on the call tonight. And Barbara, I want to thank you for inviting me to share this evening with everyone, and just also thank you for the support that you give to the entire team. We just love having when you come up here, and also you're always available. Barbara, just a matter of fact, Barbara just got off of a three-way that my wife was doing in the past hour. So thank you, Barbara. But tonight, the topic of discussion tonight is the follow-up and also accountability and having systems for tracking. So, for those of us who have been to any type of corporate training that LifeVantage puts on, we know very well the following statement and truth, and that is the fortune is in the follow-up. And that is a truth, and that's something that we have to, as distributors, just have to really understand and just let it become a part of us. And the blueprint lists two types of follow-up on page 25, if anyone has the blueprints out. It's on page 25. And the two types that the blueprint lists is immediate and constant contact. The first is the immediate contact, and that happens just like it says, immediately after the prospect's initial exposure or after any meeting that they attend. And at that time, we as distributors need to determine where they are in their decision-making process in order to know whether to go ahead and close them, or how to set up the next follow-up meeting. And this process begins with just asking them questions. And on page 25 in the blueprint are some examples of questions. And I'll kind of read these over to you right now in case you don't have it out. Number one is, what did you like best about what you heard? That just opens up the conversation and allows your prospect to, and in their answering, for you can understand that where they are. Another example is on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not interested at all and 10 being let's go, where do you find yourself? And really, that's an indirect way of inviting them to join your team. And if they say they're a 10, you can just probably sign them up right now. We know that doesn't happen very often. We'll talk about those percentages in a little bit, but this is how you find out where they are and how what your strategy is in following up. The next example is to help you make a decision. Do you need any additional company and or product information? This is also a good time to employ the if I were you, if I did this, would you do this? So when they're answering those questions, you can find out whether they are more geared to a consumer using the product, or if they have any interest in the business. And you can just ask them or you might find out what their immediate need is, where you can say, well, if I could get you this type of information, if I could get this to you, would you take the time to look at this so you can better make a decision? And so that way you can you'll understand what type of information you can give them, because you always want to give your prospect homework to do, be it look at a couple more videos, you might want to send some more documents, but you always want to give them something to do between the time you're talking to them now and when your next follow-up is going to be. And so that's where the if I were you, if I could get this information to you, would you look at this so we can talk about this later? And then one of the most important things to do is you set a date and time for the next follow-up. And then write it down. One of the things I like to do is when I'm setting the follow-up with someone, if I'm there person to person with them, I'll pull out my phone and start entering, and I enter that into my calendar while I'm standing there talking to them, and I encourage them to do the same thing, because that just gets them into an action, and that also helps them, making them accountable that they are going to be there for the next follow-up. That set a date and time, and that is very, very important. And then the most important thing in the follow-up is that you do it. You just do it. And because the fortune is in the follow-up, and that's as far as the percentages, there is a percentage of distributors, and we've all probably seen these slides, but I'm going to go over these percentages with you. Only 2% of the people that are given this information make a decision on the first touch. Now, Janice and I were in that 2%, so it kind of handicapped us a little bit at the beginning, that, when we started doing this, we go, oh, golly, not everybody's doing it. Not everybody sees us like we did. So we had to, in our learning what to do, and we're still learning, but we had to really know and understand and learn and start employing ways to follow up. So only 2% of the people that see this right away will sign up right away. And amazingly, only 45% of the distributors follow up only one time. 45% of the distributors only follow up one time. Now, only 3% will sign up on the second touch, and only 28% of distributors will bother to follow up a second time. The third touch, only 5% will join, and only 12% will take follow-up to that level. And on the fourth touch, only 10% will join, and only 10% will follow up to that point. That's just astounding. That only 20% total of the people that you put this in front of will sign up in the first four touches. So that means that 80% of your prospects will sign up on the fifth touch or after. Sometimes it takes a lot longer. I know that I have a prospect that I keep going back to, that I've touched many, many times, and he's still on my list, and I just keep going back to him every so often. But only 5% of distributors will take their follow-up effort to 5 touches or more. And that, everyone, is where the fortune is, and that's why they say the fortune is in the follow-up. Well, the second type of follow-up, according to the blueprint, is called the constant contact. And personally, I kind of rename that as consistent contact, because I think the consistency of it is more important than the constant. What's important is that you're consistent. And this is aimed at the prospects that's in your own personal prospects for consumers or as business partners. And even if your prospects claim disinterest, keeping in touch with everyone on a regular basis can build a powerful business. And, while you're talking to someone, even if they're disinterested, you just ask them if you can keep them in the loop with updated information and get back with them every 60 to 90 days. The strongest prospects still require at least 5 follow-ups before they consider signing up. So you want to plan a way to be able to reach them every 60 to 90 days. So that brings us up to the accountability. But before we get into there, I want to discuss 2 more areas of follow-up that's not mentioned in the blueprint that I think are very important. And number 1 is following up with our preferred customers. That is very important. These are customers that you have already presented to. They have already enrolled, and they are getting product. And it's very important, I think, to keep up with these. Whatever whatever method, whatever system you have, it's important. But we need to provide them with any product or any company updates. We need to constantly reinforce the science and the importance of our products, and also encourage them in their journey of better health and wellness, and answer any questions that they have. Now, the results from following up with our preferred customers will be lower attrition. You know, as folks learn more and more about just what they have in their hand product-wise, they'll be just like distributors. And just when the question is asked to a room full of distributors, how many in this room will never stop taking Protandim? And just about every hand goes up. And that's because we've seen, we're passionate about this, we've seen the science, and we understand it. And if we get that same understanding to the person who is a customer, then that's going to be a customer for life. And that means volume for life. All right. Another result from that will be additional product volume. As other orders come out, if they see that they want to order more, instead of maybe a customer that you've had for months or maybe years that has only been ordering Protandim. You know, with the onset of Nerf 1 that came out, you know, they may become Nerf 1 customers. That's just doubling your volume for that one customer right there. Can you imagine that happening for the majority of your customer base? That would double your volume. So that would be a result of that. Another very important result is that there's a good possibility that in the future that a preferred customer will upgrade to a distributor. And as a matter of fact, this month, Janice and I have just had the pleasure of that happening. One of our preferred customers, who's been a preferred customer for over a year, this month upgraded to distributor. And I just want to also mention that her name is Debbie Olson. And guys, please pray for her. She just lost her mother-in-law yesterday. She passed away suddenly she had a brain hemorrhage. So keep the Olson family in your prayers, please. But I want to go on and let's now talk about real quickly. I've got 2 minutes according to the clock. Is the accountability and having a system for tracking. It's so important for us to do that, because you know we can have all kinds of information out there. If we don't have a systematic way of tracking our prospects, they will get away from us and we'll forget about them. I know I have done it. So being accountable to yourself is a life skill that is absolutely critical in building our LifeVantage business. And it is something that I know that I am working on right now. And we all need to get better at it, I'm sure. One of the tools for that is found in your back office. You can go to your back office and go into tools and find the accountability and leadership planner. And this is something that you can print out. You can set your goal. You know, all of our leaders will say, please, if you want to be successful at this, do your 15 presentations a month. And, there's sometimes life gets in the way where you can't do that. But whatever it is, set your goal for how many presentations that you're going to do that month and track that. And as you get prospects, track your prospects. Find a method. I mean, I use a paper calendar. I tried at the very beginning to use the apps. I'm not very good at the apps, and I've kind of dropped a few of my prospects. But by having a paper, old school paper planner for me is working best, because I can put I can put the next follow-up meeting on that date. So when I turn to it, when that date comes up, as it's coming up, I can see that it's coming up and that this follow-up meeting is coming up. And also, as you have your prospects, have a page of information on each prospect. on when you contacted them, who did their three-way validation, who did the three-way validation call. And each time you touch them, make a note of what was discussed and where they're at on that. So, whatever system that you want to do, develop your own system for doing that, just so that there is a system that's out there. And with that, Barbara, I'm going to turn it back over to you, and thank you for your time, dear.
Thank you so much, Glenn. You did a great summary and added some things in there that I would have never thought of, and they were awesome. So thank you so much, everybody. I hope that everyone had a great weekend. I hope that it included LifeVantage Academy or Super Saturday at the closest location for you. Please, everyone, have a fantastic week of really spending time with your family and with friends. This is a special week that we're given, a time to reflect on all of the great blessings that we have. So just enjoy it to the abundance that is given to you. And we will have our call next Sunday, the Sunday after Thanksgiving. And we're winding down on this Blueprint Basics. Looking forward to finishing it up with you guys. Have a wonderful week. Don't forget your business, but put your families first this week. Take care. Bye-bye.